Let's go.
It's me, Mario! Hello!
Ah, Mario. Who doesn't love Mario? Everybody. Everybody loves Mario. But what of his younger brother? You know, Luigi.
Oh. Oh, yeah! Wow!
What do people think of him? Well, when the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid calls Luigi
The king of second bananas.
then you know that Luigi needs more love. So Luigi had his own year that sadly didn't go as well as Nintendo had hoped, but there were some games that stood out. One game, however, was a franchise game that was moving from the old Nintendo DS to the 3DS, and since it was the year of Luigi, he was the main focus. The game is Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Okay, the story is pretty simple to follow. Mario and Co gets invited by Dr. Snoosemore, a professor that researches dreams and an ancient people called Pillow or Pilo, I'm a bit unsure how to pronounce that. And he is invited, Mario and Co, on a vacation to Pillow Island. Once there, they get reunited with Starlo from Bowser's Inside Story, which is a game previous in this saga, I guess you could say. But sadly their vacation becomes short, as something truly unexpected in a Mario game happens. Princess Peach gets kidnapped. By who, you may ask? Phantasma. And because of this, Mario, his friends, someone called Dreambert, which is a prince of the Pillow people, gets together to save Princess Peach.
So what's good with the story? Well, several things in fact. The idea that you can enter the dream world has given the game several possibilities, and Nintendo utilizes most of them. The comedy has always been a major thing in the Mario and Luigi series, and there is just as good as the previous games. Sometimes the humor does fall flat, but we need to remember that everyone has a different sense of humor, so there is something here for everyone.
Another thing I should mention is the evil villain in this game who lurks in the nightmares. Oh yes. Phantasma.
I'm not going to spoil anything, do not be afraid, but this guy is much more intimidating than the previous antagonist Fawful. And that's saying a lot, considering that Fawful had a ton of screen time in Bowser's Inside Story, while Phantasma doesn't have that much of time in this game. But by far one of the greatest thing in this game got to be the focus on Luigi's inferiority problem. I think it goes without saying that Luigi has been given the title of King of Second Bananas, and everybody knows this, even the characters in this gaming franchise. But in this game, however, you can actually see that Luigi thinks of this himself, and while I do praise this game for this, I also have to take some points away, because I personally think that they could go deeper into this. But still, the story is fantastic, the humor is there, and even drama, and that gets a thumbs up from me. So I've said something about the antagonist of the game, but what about the main characters? Well, I was just about to get to that, so I'll make it brief for you, because I love you.
This is a cover of the game. If you look at the box art, who do you think this game will focus on?
That's right, him! What? No. This guy. Well, rather, these guys. Luigi in this game is rather different from the previous games of the series. He's scared easily, he is sleepy, and people around him generally think he is nothing compared to the great hero Mario. But as I said earlier, this game takes a look into his psyche to see what he thinks about being looked down upon. This game really follows him more than anything, and shows you how much he grows to stand next to his brother. Speaking of Mario, there really isn't anything new about him in this game. He's confident, never scared, and is probably the only one who knows that Luigi is a goddamn hero. Starlo is as chippy as ever. God, I'm so glad she is in this game. While she doesn't have that big of a role compared to Bowser's Inside Story, she is here to remind you that Luigi is useless. In a comedic fashion, of course. Now through the game, she will be more fond of Luigi, and she even admits that he's cute in his sleep. Yeah, you heard me. Get ready for the fanfics. And the last character we will look into is Prince Dreambert. I won't say anything because he's kind of a major character in the story, but I will say this. What does almost every prince have in common? He's kind of stuck up, but of course he goes through his own kind of journey and transformation, so you can just sleep on that. He becomes a pillow, you know, transform, sleep on that, pillow.
Speaking of sleeping, how's the gameplay in the dream world? Now, it goes without saying that Nintendo wouldn't change the gameplay style from, you know, the main series. But when Mario and Luigi are in the dream worlds, then there's one thing that creates a huge difference in the gameplay style. And that, my friend, is Dreamy Luigi.
When in a fight in the dream world, you will fight enemies just as Mario, but not the weak, meekly Brooklyn plumber Mario. We're talking Mario with the power of Luigi's own imagination. Mario gets more health and BP, and Luigi will create clones after your attacks to take damage to multiple enemies. And for those new to this series, BP stands for Bro Points, which is like a mana for magic. Only that the magic in these games are that Mario and Luigi combines their power into one awesome attack, like using a red shell, like a football, or use Luigi like a slingshot and propel him at the enemies. But your majesty, if you're technically only Mario in the dream world, how could you do a bro attack? Ah, but that's where Luigi's imagination comes in. Gone is the feeble football, and in comes the Agent Luigi clones to kick every enemy's asses. The dream world battles are just as awesome as the normal fights, so do not be frightened that Luigi is not on the battlefield. He is the battlefield. Not that kind of battlefield! I would also like to mention that the puzzles, both in the real and dream world, are both challenging and fun. And there isn't really any puzzle that made me rage quit or search it up on the YouTubes. You can also save everywhere, which is always a welcoming addition. And when you have beaten bosses, you can fight them again in a special arena. Now, let's talk about the bosses in this game. And I need only one word to describe every single one of them. Godlike. Nintendo knows that bosses are loved by gamers, and they did not, in any single way, disappoint.
I have to make a confession. There were several times where I laughed and felt like a child again. You may ask me, what made me laugh? And I'm going to tell you right now. Giant bosses.
If you have played Bowser's Inside Story, then you know how it works. You become big to fight another big dude. But now with the 3DS, let's just say it gave me flashback to those old Godzilla vs. movies. But who becomes a giant? I mean, in the previous game it was Bowser, the king of awesome. So who can have the skill? My friends, imagination is half the battle. Literally.
That's a hint. Now, I've talked a lot of what's good with the gameplay, and there's a lot of good, but it's not perfect. There are several things in this game where the gameplay is a bit iffy at. For example, if you die by a Goomba or a boss, there is no penalty. You can just restart the match. It will also give you 3 choices. 1. Restart the match. 2. Restart the match easy mode. Or 3. Quit the game, you little shit.
If you push that easy mode, you will find yourself so OP that even the final boss wouldn't dare to touch you. I personally checked the difference on a boss. I had a hard time to dodge his attack, so I died for the first time in this game. Then I see that easy button and I push it. I took the boss in 2 bros attack. Now I thought that was ridiculous, so I started the fight again on normal. And it took a long time until I won that match. Listen, I can understand that some people don't like to grind for levels and all kind of that stuff, but having no penalty for those who wants to challenge, that's a no-no. But the biggest problem I have with this game, and this is the reason it doesn't deserve a perfect score. Please pay attention to this, everyone. I think the developers got lazy late game. I could actually guess what would happen in the story because I had done the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and it is collecting quests. Get 5 of those, then go here. Hello, I need you to find 4 people to help me get you further. Hello there, I need 3 of those. This part of the game made me frustrated. The only thing keeping me in this game was the gameplay and the music. But I almost lost interest in the story because of this. Here is a model of the game. Awesome. Extraordinary. Hello there, could you please get 10 carrots?
What happened? I mean, this is the only truly negative part of the game, and even so, the only way I got myself through all that crap is because of the awesome battle mechanics, the music, and also my eyes set on a goal that I want to get past that to the final boss, because the bosses are awesome.
Let us just get one thing clear. It's been a long time since I've heard this good of a soundtrack. I swear to God, the music in this game is so good that you'll start to wonder why you can't make good music for the Japanese carpenters in Mexico. And I love Phantasma's battle theme. It's as good as Dark Bowser themes from the previous game, maybe even better. Obviously people have different music tastes, but you will find no one that can say that this game has a bad soundtrack. And I just want to say this. Why the hell is Phantasma's battle theme in the tutorial battle of the game? Why tease us with that awesome music to hear it again 30 hours later in the game? I mean, why?
Well, whatever the reason was, I can truly say now that the composer Yoko Shimomura has risen up to the gods of Nintendo right under Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma. And possibly Reggie, but you know.
As you probably can understand from this video, I freaking love this game. Even with the copy-paste problem later in the game, it still is a golden jiggy.
Why did you leave, Red?
Even if I do feel that Nintendo should have gone even further into Luigi's inferiority problem in the area Dreams Deep, I can understand that if they did, the game would probably not be rated E. For those interested, I beat this game for roughly around 28 hours. The game holds some replay value, since it gives you hard mode after your first time completion. And there are a lot of side quests, and even a hidden boss, who is kinda tough.
You know, after some thinking, I think that this game proudly deserves an 8 out of 10. It would have gotten a 10 out of 10 if only you could have fixed that third part of the game, the tedious one, where you do the same thing over and over and over. Now, if you have a 3DS, then please, you need to buy this game. If you like RPGs or RPG-style games. If you do not have a 3DS, then, well, Reggie?
What's wrong with you?